A 7-year-old girl almost died on a beach packed with families. And it wasn't because no one tried to save her. It was because the man saving her got handcuffed in the sand. Yeah, that actually happened. And I was the one in cuffs. It was a Sunday in late July, one of those heavy Florida afternoons where the sun feels personal, like it's leaning right on your shoulders. The beach at Silver Dunes was full. Umbrellas, coolers, Bluetooth speakers fighting each other, kids running wild at the shoreline. I had just finished my shift up at Harbor Point Public Beach where I work as head lifeguard. 8 years on the job, EMT certified more rescues than I can count without stopping to think. When you do this long enough, your body just reacts. You don't debate emergencies, you move. I wasn't on duty, no radio, no rescue tube, just my red guard shorts and a white tank certification tag clipped at my waistband because I never bother taking it off. I like walking south after shifts. Clears my head. The sound of waves, salt in the air, kids laughing. That's the good part of the job, the part people don't think about. Then I heard a scream. Not a playful scream, not the water's cold scream. This one hit different, you know what I mean? The kind that cuts straight through noise. I looked up and saw a little girl maybe 40 yards out being dragged sideways by a rip current, arms flailing, head dipping under. And her mom was on the shoreline losing her mind. I didn't think about property lines or private beaches or who belongs where. I ran, straight into the water. The current was stronger than it looked, pulling toward a sandbar, but I swam diagonal across it like we're trained to do. Reached her in under a minute. She was barely conscious, eyes rolling back. I hooked her under the arms and kicked like hell until we hit sand. She wasn't breathing. Laid her flat, tilted her head, cleared her airway, started compressions. 30 pushes, 2 breaths, count out loud, stay steady. Everything else disappears in that moment. It's just you and the rhythm. And then I heard someone yell, "Step away from that child." I didn't even look up at first. I said, "She's not breathing. I'm a lifeguard." Kept counting. 21, 22, 23. Her lips were turning blue. "Step away now." That's when I glanced up and saw Officer Ryan Maddox standing over me, hand near his weapon. "She has no pulse," I said. "I just pulled her out." He grabbed my shoulder and yanked me back mid-cycle. I lost count. The girl's mom screamed, "He saved her, let him help." Maddox said, "You're under arrest for trespassing." I actually thought he was joking. "Are you serious right now?" "She's dying." I tried to move past him to keep compressions going. He shoved me, hard, and then he tackled me. Right there in front of everybody. My face hit the sand. My shoulder twisted under me. My wrists were pulled behind my back and I felt metal snap shut. "Stop resisting." "I'm not resisting," I shouted. "She's not breathing." For nearly 4 minutes, I lay face down in the sand while that little girl had no oxygen. Her mom tried to do CPR, but she didn't know the rhythm, didn't know the depth. She was crying too hard to focus. A retired ICU nurse pushed through the crowd and took over. Thank God she was there. She started compressions, strong and steady. Around minute 4, the girl coughed. Around minute 5, she cried. That sound, I can still hear it. Ambulance showed up seconds later, and I was still in cuffs. I remember looking up at Maddox and saying, "You almost killed her." He told me I should have followed orders. You ever feel that moment when someone realizes they might have messed up, but their pride won't let them admit it? That was written all over his face. When Sergeant Alicia Moreno arrived, she'd already heard the secondary calls, people reporting that an officer stopped CPR. She ran my name, head lifeguard, Harbor Point, mayor's citation for heroism, active EMT. She walked up, unlocked my cuffs without a word, and asked, "What happened?" Half the beach answered at once. He saved her. The officer tackled him. The girl almost died. Moreno turned to Maddox and said, "You arrested a first responder during an active medical emergency." He said I was trespassing. She looked at the wet sand, looked at my certification tag, looked at the crowd, and said, "Badge," right there, in front of everyone. She took his weapon too, placed him on administrative leave. The crowd started clapping. I didn't feel like clapping. My wrists were bleeding, my shoulder was swelling, and all I could think about was how close that kid came to dying because someone saw me as a threat before they saw a drowning child. By that evening, the videos were everywhere. Different angles, same story. Lifeguard arrested while performing. CPR, officer stops rescue. It blew up fast. The girl, Lily Martinez, was hospitalized for 2 days. Doctors said if CPR had been delayed much longer, we'd be talking about brain damage or worse. Her parents thanked me publicly. I appreciated it, but it felt strange. I didn't want thanks. I wanted those 4 minutes back. I filed a lawsuit. Unlawful arrest, civil rights violations, excessive force, failure to discipline an officer with a documented pattern. Because here's the thing. Maddox already had complaints in his file, profiling complaints. enough that someone should have asked hard questions, but nobody connected the dots until it nearly cost a child her life. Lily's family filed too, for delayed medical care emotional trauma. 14 months later, the city settled. $8.6 million to me, $4.1 million to Lily's family, $12.7 million total. Maddox was terminated, certification revoked, career over. People call that justice. Maybe it is. But money doesn't erase sand in your mouth while a kid turns blue 10 feet away. It doesn't erase the look on her mother's face. Lily still has nightmares about drowning. Her mom still shakes when she talks about it. I testified before city council a few months after it happened. Packed chamber, cameras rolling. I told them I've pulled over 40 people out of the water. 10 times I've performed CPR. 9 of those people are alive today. And on that day, the biggest threat wasn't the ocean. It was an assumption. I asked them if I didn't have credentials clipped to my waistband, if there weren't witnesses, if there wasn't video, what would have happened? That question still bothers people. It bothers me too. 'Cause yeah, I won the case. Yeah, the officer lost his job. But why did it take a viral video and a multi-million-dollar payout to deal with something that should have been obvious in the first 30 seconds? Should officers be required to assess emergencies before acting on a complaint? Should repeated profiling complaints trigger automatic review? Should false 911 calls carry consequences when they lead to harm? And here's the uncomfortable one. If I'd been white, would I have been tackled? You don't have to answer out loud. Just sit with it. I still walk that shoreline sometimes. I still hear that scream in my head. I still feel that split second when instinct told me to run and pride told someone else to grab cuffs instead of context. This story isn't about hating cops. It's about accountability. It's about recognizing that bias mixed with authority can be dangerous. It's about how quickly a narrative forms in someone's head before they look at what's actually happening in front of them. That little girl is alive. I'm grateful for that. But we were inches from a very different ending. So I want to hear from you. Was justice served or was it damage control? Have you ever seen someone judged before they were understood? Should policies change after cases like this, or is this just another headline? We scroll past. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your story if you've lived something similar. And if you think conversations like this matter, not for outrage but for awareness, hit subscribe. Because sometimes the only way things change is when we refuse to stop talking about them.